is an introduction part. Okay, because when you come to the speaking hall and or maybe a room, so the examiner will ask you some basic questions to know that the candidates. So let's watch a video, and it's not really important. After this section, so the interview will start. Okay, that is part one. But before that, you can expect, and you can listen to this audio, and you can say what are the answers here. What, not from the candidate, what kind of question the examiner will ask you when you start the interview. Okay, so you can watch this video, and you have to say what's the question.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Michael Austin. Can you tell me your full name, please?
Zeynep Sanem Or.
Thank you. And what shall I call you?
Sanem, I prefer Sanem.
Sanem. And can you tell me where you're from?
I'm from Turkey.
Thank you. Can I see your identification,
Sure.
please?
Here.
Thank you. Okay, that's fine.
Thank you.
Now, in this first part, I'd like to ask you some questions about yourself.
Okay.
Let's talk about where you live.
Okay, so what is first thing? Can you tell me your full name, please? Next, thank you. Okay, listen again.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Michael Austin. Can you tell me your full name, please?
Zeynep
Can you tell me your full name, please? Next,
Sanem Or.
Thank you.
thank you.
And what shall I call you?
And what should I call you?
Sanem, I prefer Sanem.
Sanem. And can you tell me where you're from?
Can you tell me where you're from?
I'm from Turkey.
Thank you. Can I see your identification?
Hey.
Identification, which means your passport or you have an ID.
Here.
Thank you. Okay, that's fine.
Thank you.
Now, in this first part, I'd like to ask you some questions about yourself.
The first part, I'd like to ask you some questions about yourself.
Okay.
Let's talk about where you live.
Let's talk about where you live and where the part 1 starts. Okay. And what kind of questions you can expect in part 1? It's not a self-introduction part actually, but so you can expect your day-to-day life, everyday life situations about, for example, your study or work, your hometown, your likes, your dislike, your favorite thing, food or meals. Now I'll give you some sample questions so you'll get an overall idea what you can expect in part 1 and how you're supposed to answer in part 1. So this is sample questions, and you can expect nearly 4 to 8 questions in part 1 because usually you'll get 4 to 5 minutes in the part 1. So you can expect a maximum of 8 questions or 4 to 8 questions because then because the total timing will be 4 to 5 minutes. And what's the first question here? What sports are popular in your country? So how you answer? Don't worry, even whatever you say it's okay, but you have to have a logic. If you think football, you can say football, but you have to say why. And if you think cricket, you have to say why. You can't have no, I don't know much about football. For example, usually the girls or ladies, they usually ask, no, I don't know anything about sports, what should I do? So the examiner wants to know your language, not your knowledge. Okay? You don't worry, but there should be a logic. If you say cricket, you have to say why. Don't give a very short answer. Okay? So cricket, why cricket is popular? So you have to give your answer in 1 or 2 sentences. Okay? Because then only the examiners can assess your language. Usually the part 1 is the easiest sections in speaking because why we have a part 1 section to make you settle down. So then you feel comfortable when you hear the questions. So when you get questions related to you and about your likes and dislikes, it's easy. So don't memorize any answers, but you can practice. So where you need a trainer to correct you, to help you, to practice you. Okay? And second question. Did you learn any sports at school? So how you say the answer? Huh? If you say yes, it's okay, no problem. If you say no, it's okay, no problem. That is not a problem. Okay? If you say yes, why? So did you did you do any sports at school? And or did you learn any sports at school? Yes, I learned some sports at school. You can say what kind of sports did you do and why. But that's you have to say in the past, because the question is in the past. So you can't say that I'm doing some sports at school, or I was doing, or I will do, or I do. Okay? And you have to understand the question. That is the grammatical accuracy. Okay? The next one. How often do you watch sports? And you have to say, do you watch sports every day, or every week, or once a month? Or do you watch sports in the evening? So you have to say how often, and you also have to say why or why not. If you don't do any sports, you can say I hardly ever do any sports, because you can say so and so on. Okay, and I'm usually busy in my work, so I hardly ever get free time. So I don't do sports much. So it's okay, but try to give your answers in 1 or 2 sentences. Okay? And do you participate in any sports at the moment? So if you say yes, and you have to say which one. If you say no, so you have to say why not. And so that's you also have to explain. And this is a sample question. So here you can listen to the next one. You can expect questions related to your school days. Okay. So tell me something about your secondary school. Which subject did you find most difficult at school? And do you ever need that subject now? What did you enjoy about being a school student? So 3 questions are here in the past, so you have to answer things in the past. But 1 question is in, do you need? The 3rd question, do you ever need that subject now? So that's you don't want to say the answer in the past. Next, films. How often do you go to the cinema? And do you prefer to watch film at the cinema or at home? And why or why not? And which film from your childhood do you remember most? And what's your favorite film now? And why or why not? So don't give very short answer why or why not. So it's okay, you can give your answers 1 or 2 sentences. Yes or no is not enough, because examiner can't give you answer if a candidate say yes or no. Maybe you are very good at language, but if you always say yes or no, he can't assess your language. Okay? Let's now look at a sample. So what speaking ability does a scorer IELTS band 7.5? And this is not only the part 1, and it's part 1 and part 3, because we skipped another part 2. I mean, the long tail, the cue card section, because if you play all the videos, you don't get much time. Okay, so you can watch the sample, speaking, and part 1 and part 3, and you can also look at the examiner's, comment on the speaker. Okay.
Let's talk about what you do. Do you work or are you a student?
Yes, I am both actually. I work part-time as well as a student.
What job do you do?
I'm an payroll controller. I control the payroll in a property management company.
Do you meet interesting people in your job?
Not many, but yes, sometimes I have to visit the banks and the sites, so yes, I do.
How long have you been doing this sort of work?
For a 1.5 years now.
Let's go on to talk about friends now. Are your friends mostly your age or different ages?
No, many different ages.
Why?
Where it ranges. It's
See, and if he stopped there, my friends are in my different age, the examiner asks the question why. Even if you don't answer the question why, then he will ask you. So try to include the answer why. Okay, so try to answer the question why in your answer.
basically because I am not from this place. I'm from back Nepal, and when I came here, I met people from my country as well as people from different places at work and at different places. So they're all over the place.
Do you usually see your friends during the week or at weekends?
It depends. I'd see them all over the week, I think. Work friends at work, after work drinks and things like that. So yeah, all throughout the week.
Okay. The last time you saw your friends, what did you do together?
We went out for a movie last Saturday. There was this interesting movie that we heard was out on due date, so we all decided to go for it, and it was pretty nice.
In what ways are your friends important to you?
Oh, they are very important to me because I hate to be lonely. I need to talk to someone every now and then because I can't just sit, not to say do nothing, but I need someone to confront and talk to, so I give them a great importance in my life.
I'd like to move on to talk about food and cooking now. What kind of food do you like to eat?
I like Asian food quite a lot because it's because of its taste, its variety, and things like that.
What kind of new food would you like to try?
That would be French. Pure French food, I would say.
Why?
I've heard a lot about it, but because of its taste, its originality. So, but I haven't got a chance to have the original French food as yet. So yeah, I would like to try that.
Do you like cooking?
No, that's not just my cup of tea. Not at all.
Why not?
I don't know. I've been here for 3 years now, and I am a single. I live alone with my friends, but it just does not come into me. Even when I enter the kitchen, I think I go grocery shopping and I do things, but once I enter the kitchen, I just end up making some noodles and just 2-minute food, and that's it. I end up having that, but I never got into cooking. And one interesting thing, I don't know the taste of salt. So I don't know. If I cook and I call my friends over, it would be a disaster.
What was the last meal you cooked?
That was tough. Just noodles again, I would say. No, pasta. 2 minutes food again.
Now, next section is part 3. Now we have been listening to the part 1 questions. Next section is actually part 2. We skip the part 2 because as we are running out of time. So let's look at the part 3. So part 3, so it's quite detailed, and we'll come back to part 3 later. So now you can just watch what would be the difference when he answered in part 1 and when we answer in part 3. Because usually in part 3 where you have to give in-depth answers. Just 1 or 2 sentences, it's not enough. So where you have to give quite detailed. And where the examiner can easily assess your language, because where the candidate speaks a lot. Okay, so it's a two-way discussion. So where you have to give your answers in detail. So this is the most important part in speaking. Okay.
We've been talking about a well-known person you like or admire, and I'd like to discuss with you 1 or 2 more general questions related to this. Let's consider first of all famous people in your country.
So in the cue card question, so it was about, so describe a famous person like California. That was a cue card. Okay. And after the cue card, the examiner is asking question related to the cue card. So why people are becoming famous and so on and so on. Okay. So it's related to the cue card. You can usually expect a discussion part related to the cue card. Okay.
What kind of people become famous nowadays?
These days in my country, people who become famous are politicians, I should say, because since the time we've entered into democracy, they've come into a lot of media attention, and they've because of their the manner the way they've been doing things for the betterment of the country, they've come into a lot of attention. And also with the improving media in my country, the stars over there, movie stars, have come into great attention.
Why do you think politicians and movie stars are famous and popular throughout the world?
Movie stars and singers undoubtedly are famous all over the world because of what they do. They entertain people and the way they do things. And politicians, I think, gain attention tend to gain attention on their take over the country of what they're doing for the betterment of the world, for the betterment of the country, sorry, and what steps they are taking to do much better, or how they're going about it.
How would you compare the famous people today with the famous people of the past?
Big difference between the two. Back then, there wasn't so much of media attention, I could say so. As far as I know, famous people used to they used to be role models, and they used to be good role models. But these days, famous people are role models, yet for many of them, students as well as adults. But can we call them all good models? I don't think so.
So do you really think that famous people in the past behaved better, or is it just that we don't know what they did in their private life?
It's probably a bit of both. They behaved a lot better, because since we've become more advanced these days, we can do what we feel like. These days, most celebrities and famous people take things for granted and do what they like.
What kinds of people do you think will be famous in the future?
Continuing to be movie stars and singers, and some people who really make changes to the world. I could say so. Other than that,
do you imagine that in the future maybe people who are more worthy of fame will become famous, like scientists and writers?
Up till some extent, yes, because if they are really covered, I mean they really put themselves out to the world, then yes, they could get famous. But I would still say not as much as celebrities.
Okay, let's go on and talk about celebrity culture. For example, how are famous people used in advertising?
Famous people are used in advertising these days for a lot. We can see football stars, almost all the sports stars are into advertising, including the movie stars and singers as well. The way they put themselves, because they are famous people, the marketing people think that they will sell their product much better.
Why is that, do you think?
Because of, like I said before, because they are their role models. So people will think that, oh, he's doing that, so I can do that as well, and people will tend to follow their footsteps.
Do you think people really do that? That they will buy something because a famous person?
Yes, I do. Sometimes advertisement makes a big difference to sales. I've been there, and I can say yes, they do quite often.
Do you think that there could be some negative effects of this culture of celebrity on young people especially?
Yes, to a great extent. There has been a lot of, because people take celebrities as their role models, and the celebrities have misused their fame and power and money up till to do things that they should not. Sometimes, yes, I think that it will create a negative effect especially on young people more than adults.
All right, thank you very much, Ashish. That's the end of the speaking test.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we actually part 1 and then cue card section long term, then the two-way discussion part 3. But we just clubbed it because we don't have much time to do the modules. So let's look at the feedback of the examiner. So here is why this performance was given a band 7.5. Usually your band score is based on the overall performance, not only the part 1 and part 3, and the cue card is also important, right? But this test taker speaks fluently and engages with questions without any obvious effort. And so you can see that, his relaxed delivery is supported by his flexible use of and both, basically, as well as every now and then, that would be French. Then his vocabulary and how he used the vocabulary is sufficient for him to engage with a variety of topics, and he demonstrates an ability to use idioms and collocation with some sense of style and skill. But here he used idiomatic expressions all over the place. That is not just my cup of tea. Someone to confront and talk to, and I haven't got a chance, which restrict his writing on this criteria.